We're gonna do some precision shooting with a 22 long rifle. We got set up, I think it's 240 yards is what we're building at right now. Hit.
So in a PRS match, you don't use your safety. They have a mandatory empty chamber indicator, which I've got one in the truck. I'll show you. You put that in there as a visual representation so people know you're on. When you're moving, if you're in the middle of a stage, as long as your rifle's pointed down barrel, you can have your magazine in. You keep your bolt back, and that lets people know it's essentially safe, right? Because you can't fire with the bolt back. That's only when you're at the stage. If you're not at the stage, then your empty chamber indicator needs to be in. Another thing that's really important with the 22 is your bubble. So that's going to show you to make sure that you are well balanced. So there's a black rubber stopper that goes in there, and there's also a little bubble. The black rubber stopper is what you want to make sure that your elevation is good, your level.
Why is that relevant?
Because if you're not level, 50 probably wouldn't matter. It might, depending on wind. But if you're at 100, it's basically going to take, so your entire rifle, so you know how we talked about how your scope is pointing up. So now if it's adjusted that way and you cock it this way, you're going to be low left. So you're going to hit low left. So now if
I'm following you. Okay.
Especially if you're shooting a funny looking target that you'll see at PRS, like you'll see like beer cans, you'll see like unicorns, you like just weird stuff. You might see like a W or an A, like, you know, a letter of the alphabet. All that stuff is going to be impacted. So you might be aiming for the bottom right edge of the A because, you know, you've got kind of a cross on it. And here, you might actually shoot right in that center hole in that gap that's missing because you weren't level. So being level is extremely important at ranges. This goes up to a 20, so 4.5 to 20. You don't need that much, especially here. So at this distance, I'm probably going to do somewhere between like a 4.5 and a 6. So we're going to send the first few rounds down range. See what happens. And we don't need ear pro with this system because it's pretty docile in the report. I'm going to aim at that big target. Impact. This is your left and right. I usually set that and leave it. I usually don't touch it. You might see slight variations, but I will show you later on how to do holdovers with your mills.
So the option's a holdover, or it's going to adjust for windage with the clicks, correct?
Correct. But if you're shooting multiple targets like you want to see at PRS, you typically want to leave that at 0 and then just hold for wind.
Okay.
The other thing on this is you have to make sure that you actually back this all the way off, right? So you have 0 mils is where we want to be right now. I'm going to line that up on that 0. I'll double check the ballistic corrections in a minute. We'll see if we hit at the 0, but sometimes, like I said, with temperature, you might be slightly off. We may actually have to dial like 0.1 mils to actually be on at this distance.
Yep. For me, like growing up, I never really knew how to zero scope.
Yep.
So once I ever got it close to being zeroed, I never touched those things again because I was scared too. So that's where I'm at. I need to get past that point where I need to be able to adjust it and get comfortable with it.
So if I had like a series competition coming up, you can unscrew this and you would zero it, and then you actually put this back and you actually can rotate this dial within here without changing the setting, and then you just change it to 0. So if there were like a real cold day, I might be at like negative, you know, like 0.02 mils. Then you would actually dial down to 2, take this off, and then put that cap back at 0.
So that's your new space.
That's my new 0 space. Okay. Or if you know, like me, like I usually shoot in this temperature, if it's a cold day, I'm just going to dial negative 2 mils. And on this one, it can go back to, you know, like negative 0.4. A common mistake that you'll see shooters do is you can actually dial this infinitely, right? So, not infinitely, but always. So now it looks like it's on 0.
But you're actually 2.
I'm actually at like 2 or 3 mils, right? And so you actually want to put that all the way back down. And so before I always shoot the first round, I just dial all the way back. I can't go any further, and then I go back to 0, and I know that now that's my 0. What we're doing with mils is, you know, if you were shooting on a flat plane, they would fly side by side
like a laser
forever. Like
a laser would go straight,
but it doesn't do that. So instead, your barrel's looking here, or excuse me, your optic's looking here, and your barrel's looking here. But what it does is it actually cants up. Right, so it shoots and actually comes up above the barrel. So at a certain point, so usually, you know, usually for like a 5.56, you would zero at like 50. or excuse me, 100. And so at 100, it's going to impact the center of target. And then when it drops about 300, it's going to impact center of target. It's very similar. But with the 22, there's a lot more drop off. So basically what you do with the dial is the further away you get, you actually cock that scope up. So your barrel plane remains the same, but that optic goes up when you dial your mills. And so it creates a larger lift. And then what drops down, it's actually going to drop down sharper, right? So if it's more shallow, it's going to go faster and you have less error with it. But the more you can up, the more you go up. And then on the back end, it's not a smooth drop down. It's not a perfect circle. It actually goes up and then kind of drops off as it slows down.
Okay.
So that's essentially what we're doing with the rifle. So it's really things, right? So are you familiar with parallax?
No.
So parallax is on the left. So that basically is going to tell you, it goes on this rifle from essentially 50, you can go down a little low, out to about to infinity, the infinity line. We're at 50, so we want to put this on 50 right here. What that does is it gives you better clarity on the reticle.
Okay.
Right.
For your eye.
For your eye, correct. So if you put it up to 500 at this distance, it's not going to be clear.
Okay.
When you look at the target, it's going to be distorted, and that can be the difference between whether or not you pick up your target or not. If it's running through the woods or moving around, you may not even see it because it's going to be distorted. Fire essentially like 10 rounds out of the chronometer, and that'll give us our standard deviation, which is how much variance there is between each round. So as you shoot ammo, if you have match ammo, there's going to be a lower standard deviation, meaning that you might have a difference of 15 feet per second total across an entire 10 rounds, where if you're shooting non-standard match, you might see 30.
Yeah.
Which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're shooting at 300 with like a 15 MOA dial, it's going to make a huge difference. So with the new session, you just select that, select your rifle. We're going to be between 17 and 5,000 FPS, so ideally we'd probably be around the 2,000 ish, 1900. So we're going to select that one, and then we'll enter the weight of our projectile. There we go. So 40 grains, and then we'll put this about a foot off the end of the barrel. And I tend to offset a little bit. It's supposed to be straight on for better recoil growth, but due to some of my old injuries, it's tough to get straight on sometimes. So there's those rounds. That's actually 5 rounds. So there's 2 there and 1 here, 1 there, 1 there. So I had 2 that were slightly off, but then 3 of them right there dead center. So I would say that's probably pretty good, even with that wind blowing left. Low end was 1116, average 1123, high 11.39, standard deviation 6.9 feet per second, which is pretty freaking good.
All right.
Yep, so there's your, make that thing look low.
Yeah.
And the other thing you can do is a combination of bag and hand. So for me, usually, I'll put my hand under there somewhere.
Underneath the bag?
And I'll actually squeeze my hand, so like kind of part with the bag. And so, yeah, so you can kind of squeeze your hand a little bit, and that can raise it or lower it slightly.
Yeah, I see.
You just want something that you'll kind of get used to it, but that is repeatable, and that's steady. You can hold for a while.
Do dry fire.
Oh, okay. Yep.
I just want to see what it feels like.
Yep. It's pretty light. I want to say it's 3.5 pounds. It's a 1-stage though, so once you kind of get your finger on it, it's primed.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's crazy. There's no uptake.
No, there's not. The other thing you can do too, if you find that there's a lot of left or right movement, is up front here, this little lever.
Yeah.
You can actually tighten it down. So yeah, so if you're like, okay, I want it here, want to tighten it, or right now it's semi-tight, because you can still
Okay, I like that.
jiggle it back and forth left or right. You kind of find your magic sweet spot. And we'll work more on the tripod, some of the uses later.
All right.
You want to go for the big one on the left, the hanger?
Sure can. Get all situated again.
Yep. Be comfy. Impact. That's the hardest part with the PRS, is getting used to kind of like the different positions and then finding your target and acquiring it quickly, because everything is timed. Impact.
This thing is slick.
Yeah, right? Was that the middle one?
That was the middle one.
Alright, go for the small one.
Come on, bag me.
Impact. Money.
Dude, I like this.
How you feeling?
That's slick. I mean, you set me up for success, but this thing is slick.
Doesn't it hit good? burn that mag up, and then we'll push back to a hundo. What we will need to do is take the information from the chrono and the temperature and input it into the nice. Input it into the ballistic calculator once we push back to 100, and then we'll make sure that that everything's correct and trued up at 100, and then we'll keep pushing. But yeah, this is the Masterpiece Arms Matrix Pro. It's got a Vert 2 with the tungsten color on it. Got the adjustable barrel at the front. You can actually adjust that. And then on top, we've got the Athlon Aries 4.5 to 20. It's a 30 by
That's it, right?
50. Up, we got one more. Yep. Well, the Athlon is pretty good scope. Pretty big piece of glass. Overall, this thing's heavy. It's 20-ish pounds. That sounded like a ricochet.
Clear.
Alright. Zeroed this. Hardest part of all this is getting all your information right, because you know every round is different, and you can pull most of that stuff off the back of a box, but sometimes they're wrong. Default G function, which is your drag, which is how much slow you know, basically how much the atmosphere slows your bullet. There's different drag functions. Default is G1. I go to G7. Said our speed was average 1123, is 1121. I'm going to leave that because it's within the standard deviation. At temperature 64, what we're going to do is we're going to go to our ballistics, right? So now this is our ballistics table. So this is updated. So what we're going to do is we're going to say we're at 100 yards. And you can adjust this if you want to do meters or whatever you can do. Slope and angle I rarely touch, sometimes unless you're at a very heavy slope. You're just going to leave it. We can input information from the Kestrel if we want. I'm going to just leave it for now, and if we have issues we'll adjust it. No can't. And then the weather, I'm going to go ahead and adjust that. We say our humidity was about 53, so we'll go ahead and adjust that. So that's for today's shooting. So we're going to say here for the humidity, temperature we said was 68, right? And then we want barometric pressure. Yeah, average is 69. I don't think it's actually that hot, but sure, we'll throw it in there. Heat index, we don't care. Dew point, we don't care. Pressure 29.6. That's 29.8, so it's pretty close. So we'll probably see similar impacts. I don't know if we'll be affected at all by that. And look at altitude is 291.
Above sea level?
Yep. Alright, so now we've updated everything in here. We'll just look at it to verify. 1, 53, 24. Alright, cool. Looking good.
For the wind speed or no?
I'm not worried about wind speed right now.
What would that change?
Want to start missing?
Cool. Yeah.
So, because that's going to be your left-right variance.
Keep it simple, right?
And depending on whether it's blowing or not blowing, right? We don't want this to give us a
adjustment that you don't need, because if it's shoot when it's not blowing, then you're adjusting for something that's not active.
Correct. Cool. Like I said, you don't actually usually dial for wind.
You just hold.
Usually you hold. Yep. All right. So we're going to give our 100 is our distance. It's telling us 1.68 elevation And again, we didn't input the wind directly from here, so we'll see what that does. But it's saying 1.68, so we're going to dial 1.68 and see what happens. 1.7. Matches most of the time, they're going to tell you what the stage is ahead of time.
Okay.
So you might have, say on the lane like this, you might have 3 separate targets. So you're going to have like target 1, target 2, target 3, and they're going to give you your distances. So for example, they might say target 1, 100 yards, target 2, 137, target 3, 173.
So you know the distance, so you can calculate for that, so you know where to, if you're adjusting, you know how to adjust.
Correct. And so what we'll do is, if we're doing 3 different shots, we'll do something like this, right? So I'm going to dial my rifle to the first dopes, right? So we'll say 0.06 is my first one, and then 1.0 and 1.7. So those would be my 3 distances. So I know my first shot, or maybe it might be 2 shots on one, is going to be at 0.6, and then I have to dial to 1.0, and then from there I dial to 1.7, and that's going to give me my impacts. Now, as you get more and more advanced, what you can do is you can actually dial to 0.6 to start with for the first one, and then you would do what's called a holdover. So the holdover is basically the mathematical difference between 0.6 and 1.0. So in my holdover, in my reticle, you'll notice that there's little hash lines.
Yep.
So what you would do is you would actually hold high by 0.4. So you would hit that 4th hash up in order to hit the second target, and then for the third one you do 1.1 mils. So that's a little bit more advanced, and we'll keep working on that later.
That's speed, right? Because you're not sitting here adjusting dial.
Correct.
You hit it here and you say okay, and then you just can adjust in the scope where you're aiming by.
Correct. So my first couple matches, I didn't get through all the shots I needed to get through. I didn't even fire them all, much less hit them all, because I was sitting here trying to figure out dialing right. And so that's going to be, as you learn, one of the fastest things. Part of that had to do with I bought my own setup instead of using my brother's, and so I knew, like, you know, there's some finesse with it. Like, you might know, okay, if it's cold, my rifle shoots like just slightly under, you know, half a mil, like 0.025 mils high, and so maybe I'm going to hold the bottom edge, even though this says hold center mass. I might say, I know I need to hold bottom edge.
You know your rifle enough that you can do the small adjustments.
Correct. Especially with the holdovers. Holdovers are very difficult, but like I said, for over a year I didn't do holdovers at all. I would dial everything, and I ran out of time on a lot of these stages where you had big transitions. Some of them might be where you know, you dial at 1 and then you dial 0.7, right? So, you know, all you need to remember is point of aim, point of impact, and 0.7. It might be a little easier, or maybe a full 1, because usually full increments are easier to kind of remember and dial versus the hash lines.
Okay.
So,
and then this just gets banded around the rifle, so you can have as a reference point.
Yeah. So I usually just throw this. You can, this one, there's different types. You could throw this here, you put it on, you just kind of put it there, and now it's in your line of sight.
Cool. So you're not searching, hunting for
correct.
it.
You can like set it up there, and now you have it right next to your dial. Part of it has to do with what type of prop you're going to be shooting from. There's also digital ones that you can actually attach, like essentially with one of these right here, and all you do is walk up and you put your phone on it like that, and it'll actually update, and this will be a digital display, which are pretty cool, but they're like pretty expensive. So I use Scotch tape and Sharpie.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm all about it. I'm all about doing really cool things very cheaply.
Yes. Yep. So I think I figured out my issue.
What are you shooting at?
Let's go with the large target.
Okay.
Large spinner.
Oh. Hit.
So I dialed wrong.
Okay, so would you walk me through it?
Yep. That is
something that simple will get you.
I know.
Right?
That's why you come out and practice before the match. Alright, so now I got elevation's good. I'm gonna go for the center spinner.
Hit.
Let's do the tiny one.
Hit.
Alright,
we threw it.
Yep. Alright. So I dialed 17 mils instead of 1.7. So 1.7, right? You go to the 1 is 1.
Okay, so you did a full turn to get the 1 instead of just going.
Yeah, so I actually did like 17 mils.
So you're shooting way over it.
1.7.
Because you're shooting at a farther distance.
Correct. That is
something that simple will get you.
I know.
Right?
That's why you come out and practice before the match. Alright, so now we got elevation's good. I'm gonna go for the center spinner.
Hit. I do diagnostics myself. So you basically taught me right there to do diagnostics and go back and recheck dope and go back and say, okay, make sure I have the right my turns. So it's very helpful.
Cool. All right, so you got a mag in.
You come from the side.
Get comfortable. I go from the side
because you have hip issues.
Because I'm broke off.
Yeah.
And have lost all my flexibility over the years. If you're shooting a 308 or 6.5, it's going to drastically impact your ability to absorb recoil by going from the side. Okay. It is not proper form. I shoot like that because with the weight of this rifle, I can literally not even have my shoulder up against the stock.
Because it absorbs it all.
And it absorbs it all. And I can have immediate follow-up shots. Not proper shooting technique. You'll see when you do PRS though, sometimes you can't have perfect technique. And hit
these guys go up there and throw the rifle up. They're like, boom, and throw it up again, boom.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
Pretty wild.
Yep. All right. So, so I haven't dialed yet for you. I went back to 0 on your dope.
Good.
So we're at 1.68. So you're going to round that to 1.7.
All the way down.
Yep.
0. And I want to go to the 1. That's 1.
Yep.
And I need 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yep.
That hash marks a 5.
Yep. So you should be on the 1.8
I should be
hash.
I need 8 or 7.
Excuse me, 7. 1.7 hash.
5, 6, 7.
Yep. All right. And for that large hanger.
Large hanger.
Impact.
Middle hanger.
Saw something move.
I got it. All right. You got caught up. Small hanger.
Oh, last round.
Glad I didn't yank it.
Oh, that threw that that wood up over the top of that, didn't it?
I got a little slided in from underneath.
All right, let's see it.
Did I get one? Yeah, I got one.
Impact.
Yes, sir.
All right, killing
Dude,
it.
this thing is slick.
Yeah. One more at the big one, and then we'll pack up and move to the next spot.
Alrighty. Try to get some more. Hit.
Impact. Nice work.
Good teacher.
All right, drop mag and clear bolt. All right, got a clear weapon.
All right,
Let's go check our work.
For a walk.
30 seconds on a.
Yeah, the guys I had out last week, within the first 3 minutes they were here, was like $20, and I was like, guys. 153. 153.
Throwing the.
153 is going to come in here. Distance yards 153. Entered it, and it should have recalculated.
Yep.
So my MRAD is 4.11.
Yep.
And that means I need to adjust it to 4.
Yep.
0.11. So it's 4 full turns, or is it 1, 2, 3, 4?
4 is your 4.
My big 4.
0.11 is 1. No
1 and 1.
Yeah. So you're going to go. So because there's only 10, you can't go 11. So you round to 10.
Okay.
So it's going to be 4.1.
So just to clarify, I'm spinning that thing around 4 times.
Not all the way around. You spin it to the number 4.
So I'm only going to go 1 unit, 2 units, 3 units, 4
so
units.
Think about so think about it this way. It's like kind of going from meters to kilometers. Spin is 10.
Okay.
So 1 would be 1.
Okay.
And then 1.1 would be. 1
so it's 4.411. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, you get 4.
And then
1, which you're
1.
already at. So
okay, because
that's your dope.
So if it was 0.2 or if it was 0.22, that would just be 4 and 2 dashes.
It would be 4.2.
Which is 4 and 2 dashes.
Correct. Yep.
Okay. Alrighty. So if I adjust my, it's not eye relief. If I adjust my focal plane, that doesn't affect anything in the dope, correct?
Correct. So what I would do is first I would adjust your parallax, because right now you're on 50.
It's the big one?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, it got clear.
Okay. And then your magnification.
I might not even need to.
You're at 10.
Yeah.
If you're comfortable there, then you're comfortable.
I think I'm gonna send it.
Here's your mag.
I think I've spent more time this whole time messing with the bag than anything else.
Yep. Yeah. Just getting used to positions. That's the hardest part. Transitioning.
Shooting large one first.
All right.
Oh, you turned it around.
I did. Yeah.
I was like, this is something's wrong. All right. Whenever I get myself situated, I'll shoot. All right, and level.
Mag probably wasn't seated all the way. Give a little bump. There you go.
Good. That was good. Practice round.
I like it. Pretty cool.
On target. Level.
Like it went right over the top.
Over the top or under the right side?
To me, it looked like it was right over the top.
Okay.
I'd say hold same point and see. Maybe hold about a third of the way left. That wind's grabbing it. Impact.
Yeah.
Like that, huh?
Yeah. I'm gonna get me a little bit more.
Yep.
Okay.
Were you holding left?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that wind, you can feel it whipping right now. It's not really letting up.
I'm gonna confirm.
Yeah, confirm it. Impact.
All right.
It's like you hit just a smidge low
Okay.
and a smidge left.
Well, I was aiming a little bit left.
So, I mean, where you were holding, I would say is good. You're probably gonna hit that center one with that same hold. Impact. Impact. Impact.
All right, I'm calling it. That was good.
All right.
So 153.
153 yards.
And
And our dope was right on.
yeah, it was. Yeah, it was.
So, yep, just a little bit of wind adjustment. Blowing it. All right, let's see what I can do. I'm only like a whole mil left.
Hit. So if you're consistently hitting home to the left at this point, would you set your baseline and just adjust the windage on your...
No, because every time you pick a different lane, a different target,
Yep.
that directs the angle of the wind is going to adjust.
Looks like it went over.
Went over. I'm going to try going low.
Hit.
Okay, so I was shooting high.
Nice. Hit.
I'm shooting like way high.
Yeah.
So really I'm going to come down half a mil. And then I'm going to confirm it. I got to load up some more ammo.
Hit. Hit.
0.1 mil high. Okay. And that's why I wasn't impacting it. It was literally that simple.
That's why we weren't sitting at the ground because it was going over.
Yep. We'll range it.
So you pull up randomly, we'll sit down, we'll figure out how many yards it is, and then we'll do the math off that.
Yep.
Cool?
Yep. Again, 230.
230.
So let's see what 230 does, and then we'll do maybe some slight modifications.
And so it's giving me 8.22.
Yep. So let's do 8.2. Dial her in.
0, 0, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You said 22.
8.22.
8, and then 1, 2, on.
It's going to be a little bit harder to see. It's a little further away. But with that magnification, you should be good. Do you know what trace is?
Trace? No.
So trace is basically when I'm sitting over your shoulder.
Okay.
When the bullet goes through the air, it pushes wind and humidity out of the way.
Okay.
When that occurs, you can actually see the trajectory of the bullet.
Okay, I'm following you.
So I'm going to stand behind you and see if I can see your trace, because most of the time when you're spotting, you're more likely to see trace
Impact.
than necessarily impact. So you could actually watch it walk in on the target sometimes. If you have a good spotting scope, you definitely can, and depending on the day too, because temperature conditions will impact it.
Okay.
Send it.
Shooting the right target.
All right, right target, right hanger. You were slightly right. I'll move just a little bit. I'm trying to pick up your trace, so I'm standing right behind you, but I didn't see any on that. Got nothing. Try bringing it down 1 mil. Just for kicks and giggles.
Not really a mill, right? That would be a 1 click stop.
Yeah, 0.1 mils. Should be at 8.1. Impact. So I guessed that because when we were at the last one,
It was 1 off.
I was shooting 1 mil high,
Okay.
and so I assumed that whatever our dope we're getting today, because of temperature, humidity, something,
It's
that if we
also-
adjusted that 0.1, you'd probably be on.
Okay.
So I was using what we'd seen prior today to adjust my dial to get a more accurate result.
Makes sense to me.
Looked like you were off the right edge.
Yep.
Yeah, wind's still blowing pretty good down there, even though we're not feeling it here. Impact.
Up in the bottom left.
Ooh, you were a little too far left on that one.
I was shooting no target.
Yeah, okay. In that case, you were too far right. Yeah, I don't know if you can see that mirage or not.
I can.
Yeah, so you can see it's moving from that left to right. And obviously you can see the wind blowing too, but a lot of times that mirage will tell you what the wind's doing. Impact.
Hit. Hit.
The way.
Okay.
When that occurs, you can actually see the trajectory of the bullet.
Okay, I'm following you.
So I'm going to stand behind you
And try to see
and see
trace.
if I can see your trace, because most of the time when you're spotting, you're more likely to see trace
Then impact.
than necessarily impact. So you.